This is all about Azure Energy and Azure's Light Intelligence System. We believe that this solar energy system is part of the solution to our climate change carbon emission issues. You can see on that building there we've got a solar thermal collector on the roof which produces heat, and down beside the building we've got two energy storage systems, one for heat and one for hydrogen, and a group of energy conversion technologies which will provide the home with all the sorts of forms of energy that the home might need. So who am I and why do I think that I could create this new technology and build a large company to manufacture and market this product? Well, I'm Jason Hopkins and I've been involved in the solar energy business for 14 years. I've been involved in the development of monocrystalline silicon bifacial solar cells which are about 20% efficient. I've been involved in the development of dye-sensitized solar cells for many years, which are proposed as a low cost alternative to monocrystalline silicon. I was one of the first in the world to help build a factory for that technology, and was one of the first in the world to do a large-scale demonstration of that technology. It cost about $4 million, and we have a company now that's worth about $125 million last time we looked at the ASX. The solar energy resource. You can see on that graph that solar energy varies in the amount of energy available from different periods of the year and in different regions of the world. You see that in Germany, which is the blue, there's very little sunlight in summer. In Australia, even in Sydney where it's very sunny, even there's 50% of the sunlight that you get in summer in the winter time. That's very important to me, and it shows the need for long-term storage systems in solar energy equipment. So how does this Azure Light Intelligence System work? Well, basically the sunlight comes in and gets converted into heat and then goes to a thermal storage unit. In the most simple form, that thermal storage unit will be used to drive thermoelectric technology to produce electricity for appliances and charging electric cars, and also be used to heat water around the home. A slightly more sophisticated version of that is a system that uses a hydrogen storage, and that would be long-term storage. Our heat storage would only last for 2 or 3 days before we'd run out of energy, so in bad weather and in winter time you'd probably run out of energy. So we've introduced this hydrogen storage system. So hydrogen is produced from the electricity and then stored for the long term, so you can collect the hydrogen in the summertime and use it in the winter time, and the hydrogen is burned to produce heat which reheats the system whenever you need it. The third stage of the system is when we introduce air conditioning components that run off the heat source. So we have a chiller which uses heat to convert to cool things down for cooling the home, and we also have space heating equipment that uses heat directly to heat air in the winter time for your home. So in the end of it all we get electricity for appliances, electric car energy, hydrogen for a car, hydrogen for cooking, hot water, space heating and cooling for around the home. You could say that there's 5 energy conversion technologies, 2 energy storage technologies and 7 applications of energy from the system. Those 5 energy conversion technologies I mentioned, one is converting sunlight into heat, and that's usually a vacuum tube system and special films that absorb light but don't radiate it. You can also use concentrating devices to get the temperatures a bit higher when you want. The other one is thermoelectrics, which convert heat into electricity. There's 2 types of technology, or 2 categories of technology for that, one being heat engines, the other one being thermoelectric generators or TEG devices, which are a solid state electronic technology. And in recent years there's been improvements in both technologies, so they're both viable candidates. So we'd probably be using the heat engines initially because they'll be faster to get onto the market. Now converting heat into, well, hydrogen into heat, you'll get by burning, so that's a simple burner technology. Converting electricity into hydrogen is electrolysis, which is basically passing an electric current through water, and at the electrodes you'll get hydrogen and oxygen generated. And then the chiller technology, converting heat into cool, or using heat to drive a system to cool a liquid. There's 2 types of technology there as well which could be used, called an absorption chiller and a thermoacoustic chiller technologies. I said that there was 2 energy storage technologies. One of them is storing heat and the other one is storing hydrogen. As regards to heat, generally heat in a liquid or a wax or a salt is a technology that's often used. And in storing hydrogen, you can store it as a compressed gas, you can store it as absorbed onto a hydride, or you could liquefy it. depending on what was most suitable for your application. What about the price of this system? Obviously price is very important in the energy market and anything in general. I mean, it has to be at least close to what people are paying now before people will accept it. And what we've done is we've come up with a number of $49,000 for a system that produces 30 kilowatt hours of electricity a day and hot water for a home. Now 30 kilowatt hours of electricity can be fed into the grid during the peak time of the day to get the peak feed-in tariff rates. So if we had a system worth $49,000 and a mortgage worth $500,000 plus the cost of the LA system, our house would pay for itself, or we could pay off our 30-year mortgage in 26.9 years as opposed to 30 years without the LA system on it. And if we factor in incentives from the federal government in Australia, which is renewable energy certificates, solar credits and feed-in tariffs, but not carbon credits yet, that figure could come down to 23.2 years to pay off your mortgage instead of 30 years. The assumption is that you would put money into your mortgage rather than paying the energy company, or even get an income from the energy company you could pay off your mortgage with. So you could save maybe 7 years on a 30-year term loan with that price for a system. Okay, what we're seeing here, the growth in the solar energy market over the last 10 years, mainly in Germany and Spain, have dominated the world market in the competing technology, which is solar energy that goes on homes. It's grown from nearly nothing to be an 80 billion Australian dollar industry in 10 years, with 85% growth last year in the global recession. Now we believe that if we can get that growth rate with that price that we have showed on the previous slide, which is basically about 12 years to pay itself off if you don't factor in the house's other debts. Okay, what we're seeing here is a cost of goods and profit breakdown for a technology. We believe that we can manufacture at $49,000 a system that produces 30 kilowatt hours of electricity a day plus hot water, and walk away with a profit margin of about $16,000 per system, with the major cost of that actually being the commodity value of the materials and parts that go into the system, and the labour, or the transferable labour component, would only be about $5,000, and that $5,000 is probably what it would cost to ship a system from China. So there's no argument for arbitrage to be used with this technology. Now to our second last slide, the management challenge. Okay, as regards to new products, it's considered the most complex new product is a space shuttle. The easiest one is a screwdriver. The car towards the easier end with respect to the space shuttle. We believe that our project is a little bit simpler than doing a new car, but obviously a fair bit more complex than doing a new screwdriver. That means that we want to have 15 to 30 people working on this for 24 months to start up and launch a product. We believe it'll probably cost about $10 million to do that project. There are some patents involved, and the textbook says we need an autonomous cross-functional team integrated under one roof. That's research, development and manufacturing and marketing all working together. The reason for that being we need to get good communication between the different groups of people to solve problems quickly, and this autonomous cross-functional team basically means to start a new company for this project. You can see here a graph on the emission sales in the end of the era of coal, gas and oil. We did regression analysis on the growth rate shown in Spain and Germany mostly, and figured out that if we can get to the same growth rates, that by 2040 the coal, gas and oil industries will be finished in Australia, which is what people want to minimise climate change, and that's the reason they buy this equipment along with the financial incentives, so we can achieve that. Now the green line that goes flat, that's our non-energy emissions, which probably go down as well, but we're not an influence on that with this technology. And if we can achieve that along the way, we could potentially make hundreds of billions of dollars worth of sales, if not with this company, within the industry as a whole. Thank you.